What, you're telling me that you only work 60 hours a week and you actually get to see your family on weekends sometimes? That's you need to get the ball rolling, man. You gotta get in gear. You're falling behind. The workforce is gonna leave you in the dust, man. Does this sound familiar to you? Because I've heard this before, and I want to talk about it. So hustle culture. It is something that has become very, very prominent in the past few years. And it doesn't matter where you go online, whether it's YouTube, websites, blogs, wherever, you're going to find people in each space that are telling you that you need to work more. And if you're not successful, if you aren't a millionaire, it's because you aren't trying hard enough. And this is all sparked realistically by an article that I found on my phone that I actually, when I read it on my phone, it wasn't behind a paywall, but then when I went to click on it a little bit ago, and it is behind a paywall now, so I had to actually find another version of it. But essentially, it all boils down to the same thing. This podcaster had come out and kind of attacked, more or less, somebody in Gen Z that they said was lazy because they didn't want to come to an 8 o'clock meeting that was going to conflict with their pre-scheduled workout thing that they had at the gym or whatever. They had this class that was scheduled. They couldn't. It's not like it's a normal gym day where you can just adjust the time, right? It was a class that when they started the job, they were told, yeah, you can go. That's not a problem. You don't start till like 9 or whatever. So they went to the class at 8. And the person actually had to backtrack later. The podcaster had to apologize because they were wrong. And they were called out for being wrong by a lot of people. And realistically, for me, it gets at this thing that I've been saying for a long time, because I hate the people that say, I don't hate the people. I hate the idea of, well, you just need to work more. You're not working enough hours. My mom was big on this when I was a kid. She was always telling my father, my dad, like, you need to work more. You just need to work more hours. Get a second job. That's how you make it in this world. You just need to work more. And in some cases, that's you can technically make more money. If it's a budgeting issue, you need to find places you can cut back. You need to work on your budget. But even then, nowadays, working a 40-hour job in most places barely pays the bills, if at all. You can work 40 hours a week and maybe scrape by enough for rent and utilities, not counting food, gas, insurance for your car payment if you have a car payment. Like 40 hours a week just doesn't cut it for most people nowadays. And you know, the saying, they act like it's a meritocracy. You know, I recently learned the term meritocracy because I had heard it in the past, but I never looked it up. I never thought about it. It's kind of become a thing lately, especially as I've been watching stuff, people talking about YouTube and whatnot. The idea of a meritocracy is that the harder you work, the better you are at what you do, the more successful you're going to be. And we don't really exist in a society that works that way. It's not about how hard you work. You could go out there and you could work 80 hours a week at 2 different jobs just to make ends meet, and you're never going to go anywhere. You're never going to move up. You could work your ass off in a retail position and be the best person there and never move up, never go anywhere, because that's just the way our society works. We reward incompetence in a way, because like the worse you are at your job in some instances, the more likely you are to get promoted. The better you are at your job, they're like, well, we can't replace you, so we're going to keep you doing this, and we're never going to reward you anymore. So it brings down to, well, you need to work harder. You need to work more hours. I especially hear this when it comes to stuff like YouTube. And I have seen so many people talking about, you know, you need to work more hours. You need to hustle. You need to be working 80, 90, 100 hours a week if you want to succeed. And the more hours you work, the more likely you are to succeed. Yeah. And it's not true. It just is not true. It doesn't matter if you work 90 hours a week or 10 hours a week. You're going to have the same type of chance at success, because ultimately it doesn't matter and that's a whole nother video I'm going to make about YouTube, about quality versus quantity. But it's the same concept there. It doesn't matter how hard you have worked, because at the end of the day, it's who you know and how lucky you are with a lot of things. And you could bust your ass out there working a ton of hours for a company that doesn't care about you, that as far as they're concerned, you're a number, you're just a warm body to fill a spot. And that's not right. We live in a society where that's the main focus, where you have to you have to work hard, but hard work never pays off. But they tell you that it does, because if you realize that hard work doesn't pay off, you're not going to work as hard. And, we had the whole trend a couple of years ago, the quiet quitting thing, which honestly I thought was a kind of stupid name for a trend. It boiled down to just doing the bare minimum at work, right? Just do your job. And that's called quiet quitting. And honestly, I think that's stupid. I don't think it's stupid to just do your job. Do the job you're paid for, right? If a company pays you to show up and do a specific job, show up and do that specific job. Because doing above and beyond rarely pays off. And the reason for that is because you have a small number of positions at the top and a large number of positions at the bottom. Every company is a pyramid. Not a pyramid scheme per se. Those are a whole nother topic. But every company is a pyramid in that you've got the CEO, you've got the executive board at the top, very small number of people. And then you go down to the next level and you got a few more management types, and you go down to the next level, maybe some more managers, or maybe just the group of people that does all the work, right? And you're led to believe that if you do all the work, if you work hard, you show up every day, you do what you're supposed to do, that you'll move up one day from being the peon at the bottom to a manager, to middle management, all the way up to the top. And that's just not the case. When I was working in IT, I worked my way up from, I was working desktop support when I first started, and I worked my way to senior desktop analyst. I worked my way from that up to a Windows systems engineer, up to an IT incident manager, to a major IT incident manager. And that was kind of the cap, right? Because, and I was the only one that I really saw. There's several people I started with that never moved up, never got promoted. I was one of the few people that did. And that was all playing politics. You have to, it's who you know. And it wasn't, I worked hard, but I didn't go over the top. And I did a good job, but I wasn't the best at every job that I did. I knew the right people, and I played the politics the right way to move my way up the ladder. But no matter what I did from where I was at, there was nowhere else for me to move, mainly because I didn't have a degree. I'm working on a degree now, but at the time I didn't have one. I didn't have any college education. And two, once you hit a certain level, especially in like a white collar job in a company headquarters, that kind of thing, there's only so far you can go. You can work your way up to being a manager. You can even work maybe into being a director. But above that, becoming a VP, a vice president, or a C-level executive, a CEO, CIO, CFO, whatever, those actually take more than just skills. You don't have to be good at your job to be a CEO of a company. All you have to do is be good at marketing. You have to be marketing yourself. You have to be good at convincing people that you're the one for the job. You can come in, and that's why you see, and there's a very small pool of these CEOs. They have managers, agents, not managers. They have agents that will go out there and find jobs for them. And you have this small pool of these people that can act in these positions, no matter how many times they bankrupt a company, no matter how bad they are at their job, they continue winding up in the same thing. And that's the way it works with companies. It's a good old boy scheme. There is no working your way to the top. And there is the exceptions to the rule. There is the people that do make it. There's the people that do work their way up the ladder. Those are the exceptions. Those aren't the rule. And all of this, I hear this especially now with Gen Z. People say, well, Gen Z is lazy. They don't want to work. That's bullshit. Gen Z is not lazy. They do want to work. It's just that they want to be treated like human beings. They want to have a life outside of work, because the company is not your life. All right. If you don't already know this, you should know this. Work is just work. Work is a means to an end. It's a way to make money. It's a way to survive, to pay your bills, to do the things that you really want to do. And more we're finding that fewer companies are willing to accept that. More employees are looking for that. So you have this divide here. And who has the power in the situation? Typically the employers. That's why you see all these articles. And I'll use remote work as a jumping off point, because I've seen this lately. CEOs and company leadership saying that people who want to work remotely are just lazy. They don't get the job done. They don't work. And it's bullshit. The evidence doesn't back that up at all. In fact, people who work from home are typically more productive than people coming into the office, because you don't have to deal with traffic. You don't have to deal with, if you want a lunch, you just walk in the kitchen and grab a lunch. If you have to go to the bathroom, it's 2 feet away, as opposed to at your job. If you're sitting in an office, you have all these extra steps you have to go through, and then you have your traffic on the way home. But CEOs, CFOs, the heads of these companies, they don't want people to know that. And so they've been laying people off. They've been coming up with all of these articles all over the place about how bad remote work is, and giving employees ultimatums like, you can either come into the office, people who were hired for remote work. You can either come into the office, move your entire family to where a local office is, or we can let you go. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how companies look at employees. And that should tell you everything you need to know about whether you should be hustling and working harder, working more hours, because at the end of the day, the company doesn't give a shit about you. At the end of the day, the company is going to move on. If you died tomorrow, they will have a new person in your seat next week. They don't care about you. There is nobody in this world that is irreplaceable when it comes to working a job at a company. Not a single person. I don't care how good you are at your job, you are replaceable. I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care, because at the end of the day, companies are looking for the bare minimum. Anything they get above the bare minimum is a plus, and they'll take it. But they're looking for the bare minimum. And that's why, AI is taking over. We've got AI positions being filled. You've got, hell, I've gotten job things on LinkedIn, about AI positions, editing AI articles, using AI to come up with articles and that kind of stuff. And these are positions that companies are supposedly paying for remote work. I want nothing to do with any of them. And AI is going to be a topic of a whole other video that I'm going to do. But it's this hustle culture. We have to get more out. We have to work harder, more hours. We have to do, these places are asking for 15 or 20 articles a day. This is insane. The level of what companies are starting to expect. And when you hear it reinforced by these people that have maybe made some money, it's the old fashioned scheme of you make money by telling people how to make money. You go to a seminar, somebody says, this is the way to success. Come to our seminar and we'll teach you how to make $1 million. And you show up at the seminar, and it's a whole bunch of stuff about, they want you to buy the upgrade to the next level of the seminar. They want you to, because that's how they make their money. That's the secret to it. And it's the same thing with these hustle guys. These people are like, oh, if you work 80, 90 hours a week, that's the only way that you can make good money. And realistically, that's not the truth, because yes, while you can make some decent money doing that, that's not the only way to do it. And they didn't even make their money doing that. So that's all I really wanted to get out of the way in this video. It was something that was interesting to me. It was a topic that I've been thinking about. And I kind of wanted to wear the suit. I don't wear the suit very often. I got the profile picture with the suit, but I don't really wear it outside of, stuff like this. So I wanted to have the chance to wear it for once. But that's all I got. If you liked the video, if you made it this far, subscribe. Go check out my other stuff. I wouldn't recommend subscribing on this one video necessarily, unless you really, really like me, because I do a bunch of different stuff. I've got some gaming content. I've got philosophy and ethics content that I cover. I've got, vlogs like this that I cover. I've got a bunch of stuff that I do. So if that does sound interesting to you, go ahead and subscribe. Go check out my other content. If you really want to help me out, you can go check out Patreon. You get your name in the video. You can get a whole bunch of other cool little perks that go along with that. So you can go check that out, and all of that's listed over there. That's all I got. I want to thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.